Hello and welcome to yet another episode here at Moments and Ripples Responsibility and Personality. I'm your host, Neri Snyder.
Favorite frequency. It's the favorite frequency, favorite frequency, favorite frequency. It's the favorite frequency in human form.
How do you balance between the person you are at work from the one inside you around your friends and family? I bet the ones who know you from work see a totally different person from the ones who know you out of it, right? And then there are those who have seen both sides of you, on duty and off duty. And sometimes gets tricky, right? There's such a thin line between being responsible and being consumed by responsibility. And most of us, maybe even you included, have crossed that line without even realizing it. For most of us, especially the ones who care deeply, who take life seriously and always want to do right by others, get easily swept away. Because you no longer do your job, you become your job. You don't take care of people anymore. You become the caretaker even when no one asked you to be one. You wear responsibility like a uniform that you never take off. At home, with friends, even in moments that are meant to be light. And it happens slowly. Maybe you got a job that demanded leadership, or you became a parent. And maybe you're that firstborn who had to hold everything together. And so, somewhere along the way, your sense of responsibility became louder than your sense of personality. I've actually seen this happen at my workplace. There's this guy, brilliant, well educated, very sharp. He actually got promoted in just 3 months of working in the company. Impressive, right? I know. But once that happened, something shifted. He changed. The moment responsibilities landed on his shoulders, that focused, curious, friendly guy we used to know was replaced. He suddenly took up a form of leadership that was rooted in control, the need of being in charge, being depended on. He practically positioned himself at the center of every decision. He was breathing down the necks of the team he was even allocated to. And so gradually, people stopped respecting him, they avoided him, people just tolerated him for the sake of it. Because once your role starts to make people feel small, you've already lost the essence of leadership. But here's what I've come to realize this override doesn't just happen because of arrogance or pride, it's often deeper than that. It comes from fear of failing, fear of letting people down, fear of losing control. Maybe you grew up being told, be strong, don't mess up. So whenever that responsibility calls, you answer fully, completely, even when you're running on empty. You forget that you're meant to live, not just perform. It's not even about ego. Nah, it's about survival. You see that responsibility? It gives you structure, it gives you meaning, it makes you feel respected and needed. And when all you've ever known is chaos and uncertainty, that structure makes you feel safe, well, until it kills you. Because when you live like that for too long, your personality, it starts to fade away. You start losing touch with the things that made you you. The laughter, the spontaneity, the softness. People stop seeing the real you and only see the responsible version of you. And worse, you start thinking that's all you're allowed to be until someone asks you to describe yourself without those roles and responsibilities, and you have nothing to say. Sometimes you even feel tired, but you can't explain why because responsibility without balance is a silent burnout. It might look like strength, but it feels like emptiness. So, how do we find the balance again? I want you to remember that your responsibility is what you do and not who you are. That it's okay to be serious when you need to be, but it's also okay to laugh, to play, to say not today without feeling guilty. Because you see, you can be reliable and still be human. You can lead and still be lighthearted. You can care deeply and not lose yourself in the process. Don't allow responsibility to steal away the parts that make you feel whole. Mm-mm. Set boundaries. Keep in mind that you being dependent on doesn't mean that you have to be available 24/7. Sometimes it just means that you need to do those small things that reconnect you to your true self. Like listening to that favorite music, going out, resting, and maybe just being around people who remind you of your true essence, not your role. So here's what I want you to hold on to. Let that responsibility refine your personality instead of stealing it away. You are who you are beneath what you do. And that person, that real you, needs to come out and breathe. Because at the end of the day, when that title fades, when the work is done, and the noise quiets down, you need to recognize the person standing in front of the mirror.